Okay, I've decided to separate today's reading into two parts because there were some very important messages that were coming through this morning for men and most certainly for Indian men, based on my own experiences there and how I'm being impressed to share this knowledge and this insight with you. And hopefully it will be shared. Hopefully there will be more conversation about this, even in comments here, so that we can, create a better level of understanding, so that we know that these messages from Spirit are in no ways to judge, in no ways to tell anybody what they need to do. I love India. I will never stop going to India. I will never stop wanting to be the best version of myself because of what India has taught me. So I think the words that I have to say here are just precautionary. They are words of advice, encouragement, heartfelt and sincere and full of love, and definitely from my authentic self. I have my Chimpta here, and I'm going to be lighting this coal. I think it's important, again, before I say today's reading, that we just say a little prayer of protection. And let's set that intention for all men and women everywhere. I'm going to place a bit of frankincense on my coal, and I have some dragon's blood here as well from the dragon's blood tree. And I'm going to present this as an offering for the healing of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Let's pray for anyone that is trapped in repeating cycles of conflict, trauma, self-limiting beliefs. We want to soften that pain with a level of understanding perhaps many of us are not accustomed to yet. The messages that were coming through this morning were specifically for Indian men to unite in solidarity, to accept accountability and responsibility, to be sovereign, to be discerning with the choices that you make. I experienced something in Rishikesh the last couple of times I was there that is deeply concerning. And it's not just a spatial overpopulation issue. It's becoming spiritual warfare of epic proportions. And it needs to be brought into dialogue, because adventure time and entertainment cannot always run parallel to spirituality and the large numbers of people that are moving through Rishikesh on both sides of the spectrum are causing detrimental conflict to the tourism and yoga industry. Almost being run off the road multiple times and finding very little peace in an environment that used to feed my heart and soul. Black SUVs deciding to turn around in a downhill road at night time with oncoming scooters, ours being one of them, with no warning, and then still trying to back the back end of the vehicle into the road again to complete the U-turn, and almost causing a phenomenal crash. Being almost run off the road multiple times by jeeps driving groups of river rafters and the rafting boat on its canopy. The discomfort of just walking in the road, the incessant overuse and unnecessary use of horns and honking, spitting, and other behaviors which are not attributed to how we would be reacting in that environment on any normal day when we are devoted, when we are worshipping and praising. I need to read today's reading. Okay. Those who have no faith in this Dharma, knowledge of the self, O Arjuna, return to the path of this world of death without attaining me. The word Shraddha cannot be easily translated. Merely translating it into faith does not make it clear. However, the rest of the verse gives an indication of its meaning. If that something called Shraddha is not there, you do not reach the truth or self-realization. If you do not reach self-realization, you experience birth and death again and again. You're trapped in this world in which you constantly experience happiness and unhappiness, success and failure, pleasure and pain. When this Shraddha arises, then the constant succession of changes, beginnings and endings is like water on a duck's back, and the ultimate truth becomes realizable by direct intuitional knowledge. Shraddha, we call it faith, is important. If a man has no faith in a teaching, he fails to adopt it in his life. Hence, though this Dharma, knowledge of self, is a kingly science, and through God and all saints are ever ready, willing and eager to bring more and more souls onto this path, the path becomes a kingly secret. Lack of faith makes us doubt the value of practice, so we wallow in delusion. If we have the necessary faith, however, we take up the practice and realize that self-knowledge, which is superior to all else. Self-knowledge is different from a layman's knowledge of the radio. All he knows is how to turn the knobs. The rest was done by the engineer. In self-knowledge, there is no second-hand knowledge, hearsay, or dependence upon the authority of someone else. Here we accept a working hypothesis on faith, practice yoga, attain direct realization, and prove the hypothesis ourselves. Faith itself will purify our heart and mind. If it does not lead to this self-purification, it is not Shraddha. Our heart and soul are polluted because of our identification of the soul with inert and changing matter. Rainwater is pure, but is polluted on coming into contact with the earth, when this identification of the self with the body and mind ceases, we regain our pristine purity. If we have this Shraddha, then we let life flow in a profound realization, which has not been described in the rest of this chapter. Okay, so I think today's reading is also very apt for the messages that were coming through. Faith itself will purify our heart and mind. Our heart and soul are polluted because of the identification of the soul with inert and changing matter. Rainwater is pure, but is polluted on coming into contact with the earth. This book, The Song of God, is full of really amazing insight. And I would recommend, if you are anywhere in Rishikesh, to visit the Divine Life Society directly and get yourself a hard copy of this book. Here and I have certainly found the secrets that I've needed to have answered for myself. And I know by being where you are, by having the birthright to be living in a place like India, you are also connected to Source and a vibration that feels like when you're there, you're really on top of the world. In many places, to have this automatic connection to a high vibrational frequency is such a divine blessing. We have to realize that our race, our human race, is at risk of completely losing itself, its identity. More and more, we are succumbing to this delusion. Our reality is becoming barbaric and demonic. I'm here to be an example of divine feminine grace, love, peace, kindness. I'm not here to compete or judge. I'm putting the power back into your hands to make things right, to have this dialogue, to have compassion, to be vulnerable, to look around to see where things can be changed. And to become part of the change that you want to see in this world, said Gandhi. Thank you so much. Please share these messages with anybody that you feel may resonate with them. I'm sending you love, peace, and light always. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste. God bless.